Well, a good Saturday morning to you. It is the Saturday of Car Week here on the Monterey Peninsula, and it's time for us to talk technology. And our tech expert, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us this Saturday morning. Luis, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark. How are you today, my friend? Getting ready for Car Week?
Absolutely.
Or the end of Car Week, yeah.
The end of Car Week, really. It's been a very, very busy week and a half. And today, I get a chance to help set up over at the Concorso Italiano for a radio broadcast. That's up at Bayonet Blackhorse. And then later on, I'll be over at the fairgrounds for the Monterey Motorsports Festival, which will be a lot of fun. And I understand that you have a Ferrari event that you're going to check out on your home turf.
Yeah, Pasadena is holding the Ferrari club's get-together, and I'm going to see, it'll be fun to see a bunch of Ferraris up and down the roads here. I'm going to try to see if I can sneak over and take a couple of pictures and enjoy those beautiful cars.
Maybe you can get a ride.
Yeah.
Or can I get a test drive, right?
I'm interested in one of these cars, but I need to drive it for a little bit.
That's right. I'll just take it over to Laguna Seca. I'll be back in about an hour.
Yeah.
You know, they had a Ferrari Owners Club event Thursday in downtown Carmel on Ocean Avenue, which was really a blast. It was like about 75 Ferraris and about another 25 Italian motorcycles, and that was a really neat event. And there's some very beautiful cars there.
Wow. Yeah, it's so much fun this time of year to just drive around and see all of these beautiful cars. Just yesterday, I was coming home from Salinas, and I was, I was surrounded by, I think, like 3 Porsches, brand new Porsches. I think there was a Ferrari up in front of me, and Bentleys and all sorts of other cars. It's kind of weird to be in town this time of year.
It certainly is. By the way, I just saw also in town down at the harbor, there is this incredible yacht. I can't remember the name of it, but maybe you've seen it. It's very futuristic looking, and it's at the guest pier. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yep. I saw it, yeah.
Now, the woman who owns the yacht is in town this week for all the events, but when she's not using it, she rents the yacht out. And you can rent that yacht if you'd like to have it for a week. And you know what it would cost you to rent that yacht?
God, I have no idea. I'm sure a lot.
It rents for between $275,000 and $350,000 a week.
Oh, wow. That is crazy.
That's having some serious disposable income.
Yep, that is, it's a beautiful yacht, I got to say. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah. But, a little bit out of my price range for my vacations.
You have to have like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos money to be able to rent something like that. But, it's an interesting display, all that's out there this week, or the last week and a half in Monterey. Hey, we have a really serious subject to talk about on the program today, and this is one that everybody really needs to pay attention to. The report is that 2.9 billion records, including social security numbers, were stolen in a data hack, and some reports say that it is every social security number of every single person in the United States. What's the story on this, Luis? Is that true?
Yeah, so it is, and it's worse than just social security numbers, because this is a hack that happened to a data broker. This is a company called National Public Data. They're the sort of company that offers background information to employers, private investigators, anybody doing a background check. So it includes social security numbers, bank accounts, credit card accounts, all of the personal identification information, address, phone number, that sort of stuff. So it's a really, really serious hack, and it gives the bad guys all the information that they need to steal your identity. And unfortunately, after the group that stole this data never, they obviously held this information for ransom. The hacking group is called US DOD, and the broker never paid the ransom, so they released the data in the dark web for free. Basically, it's out there and available to any bad guy that wants to go into the database and steal information. So it's a really serious hack on top of all of the other hacks that we've seen over the last few years. And it really means that you, as a consumer, need to do everything that you possibly can to protect yourself. So it includes things like make sure that you have a multi-factor authentication enabled on all of your accounts, because this information could be used to break into your bank account, your Amazon account, anything that you have out there that you've set up with any sort of user ID and password. Make sure that you add MFA on top of it. Make sure that you're reviewing your credit card accounts, because these folks can use the information that they have in that database to actually apply for and get new credit cards in your name. So they'll run up a bill, and all of a sudden you're on the hook for a bunch of credit charges charges that you didn't do. So make sure that you take advantage of the fact that you get at least one free credit report check every year through the big credit companies, and request one of those so that you can see if there's any credit cards out there with your name and social security number attached to it that you didn't actually apply for.
You need to do the MFA. We should do that anyway, the multi-factor authorization on all the websites that we go to, that we have our access. I know that for my health care, I have that, and I have that on a few others, but I guess I'm going to have to add it. But if they have your social security number, how does that get them into these websites then? If you're not using your social security number as your code or something like that, how does that work?
So what happens is that a lot of these accounts, when you request let's say they don't know your password, so they request to change the password, and they'll ask for verification, like what's your social security number? And now they have that. Or what's your address? Or what's your phone number? So all of the information that normally would be difficult for somebody who doesn't have that, doesn't know who you are, or doesn't have that information to use to get into your account, now they have that readily available to them. And so they're able to log into that account, change the password, potentially get access to the information that's in there, and then even do things like change the email address. So now the emails come to them instead of to you. And so you don't even know that that account has been hacked until you try to access it yourself later. So if you have any bank accounts, even maybe your email account, you might want to change those passwords. I know I changed mine after I heard about this hack earlier this week. And there is a class action lawsuit that's, winding its way through the courts that may eventually pay out some money to people, but I wouldn't hold my breath necessarily for that to happen.
Right, because where's this company going to get the money? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Even if they have an errors and omissions or some sort of liability policy, there's really no way that any insurer could afford to pay out like whatever the settlement would be, especially if we're talking about every single social security number in the country. Now, here's one of the other dangers. It says social security numbers going back 30 years. So if the hackers get their hands on, say, the social security numbers of deceased people, what's to stop them? Because those people have no way to do MFA. You would think that using the social security numbers of deceased people would be a really easy way for hackers to do whatever it is that they want to do.
And that's a really good point, that now they have the ability to actually resurrect somebody literally from death and assume that identity and start racking up debts and things with that person's account, and then just disappear again and leave all those people on the hook for whatever they've spent.
Well, the businesses are going to be on the hook because you're not going to get the money out of a dead person.
Exactly. And, the credit card company is going to not pay those charges once they realize that they've been defrauded.
So the businesses, whether they're online businesses or brick and mortar, but those businesses are the ones that are really going to be hurt by something like that.
It's really difficult to protect yourself if you're a business from it, but if you accept credit cards, if you accept those kind of charges, make sure you know who's at the other end making that purchase. And if you don't know who they are, then be a little suspicious.
Good information from Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, joining us today on Power Talk Radio. Online, it's alvareztg.com. At AlvarezTG is the X handle. Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-TEAM. That's 866-784-8326.
And looking ahead to Monday's program, we have some information about a Google reveal. Tell us a little more.
Google had their Made by Google event. They're showing off all of their new stuff, and you want to tune in and learn about all the latest and greatest things, especially their new AI engine.
That starts Monday morning at 8:30 right here on Power Talk 1460 and 101 FM. Thank you, Luis.
Take care, my friend.